Hello and welcome to City Club's Hub. I am Dan Gibbons. I'm the CEO of the City Club, and it is an incredible honor to have the one and only Senator Tammy Duckworth with us today. Welcome, Senator Duckworth.
It's great to be here.
We are, as I mentioned, we are using this incredible week for Chicago and for the country to take advantage of all the incredible people that are in town.
Yeah.
For I hear there's a party going on. There's
Little one.
Little one. You've been a little bit involved with getting it here.
A little bit. Only 18 months.
And only probably 18 events before you came here today.
Oh, yeah.
Are you ready for vacation?
You know what? The president asked me to lead our Paralympic delegation. So,
oh my gosh.
Wake up. Yeah, thank you. So we get done Thursday night, sometime after midnight. I wake up Friday. Then I have to leave on Saturday for Paris.
Oh my gosh.
And lead our Paralympic team.
Do you need any help? That sounds amazing. You are going to be exhausted.
Amazing. But you know what? We have, such a great Paralympic team and so many of our Wounded Warrior athletes. And so I'm going to see some of my old friends.
How cool. Great. Oh, so the president asked you to do that. I'm sorry. Okay. And here you're at City Club. It's an even more of an honor. Let's see who you're hanging with.
You asked me to come. I came here.
I love it.
I don't discriminate.
I love it. You're one of our favorites. You came to City Club a few months ago.
I did.
And I don't know what you remember from that, but I remember an awful lot. I remember what we talked about. I remember I remember when you showed off your Cubs shirt because you're on your way to the Cubs.
I was in my, there's a women's senator's uniform. It's like this little dress suit thing, and I had it on underneath.
It was fun. But what I really remember there was a table of young girls that came.
Yeah.
And that's not a usual thing at City Club. And it's part of what we're doing is getting the next generation involved. And you interacting with them was one of the coolest things. Yeah. And I bet you probably changed some lives that day.
Oh, and that would be wonderful.
I think you did. I mean, I remember as a young kid, just looking at incredible role models and thinking, God, what if I can meet them someday? And how cool for these young women who maybe now they're going to look at public service, or maybe they're going to look at military, or maybe
I think they went back and they're running for their school student council.
Oh, cool. I mean, maybe we're going to find out, and I'm going to let you know because. Okay. I bet you there's a story that came out of that. It was such a neat interaction. And as I mentioned, I mean, here, at City Club, as you understand, we're changing things up. We're trying new things, but we really are looking to identify the next generation of leaders, of course, here in Chicago, but in the state. And that's been such a push for you as well, I think, is identifying younger and women especially, and minorities. And what we're doing is we're taking our platform and just helping lift up people that are doing good things. Mm-hmm. And that's everything. That's business. That's government. We've got a couple entrepreneurs here that we're actually going to talk to as soon as we wrap up that are doing some amazing things. We've got Ida's Ice Cream in the back that I promise that we get you some on the way out. I knew it.
Promise me ice cream if I did this.
I knew it. And like Ida's a great story. And these are young entrepreneurs that are they're changing the face of this city and this state. And you are an incredible role model for all of them and for all of us. So thank you. I'll get started with a couple of questions. I just want to say a few of those things because it's appreciated. It's appreciated. You're a great leader and you're a great friend to City Club.
Thank you.
So tell us what are you hearing this week? This has been such and I don't want to focus just on this election because there's so much in the world that you deal with and that you touch. Mm-hmm. What's the buzz? What are the issues? What are people talking about that's really coming to fruition this week in Chicago?
Well, I mean, first off, just how great the city is. Can I tell you, I have had so many people, and it's not multiple times, it's dozens of times a day come up to me. It's like, Chicago is great. I don't know why I haven't been here more. I'm like, well, you probably came in the winter. But no, people love the city, and we have shown ourselves off in such a way that it has made a lasting impression to all of the the delegation goers to this, so it's been really, really great, and people are just super, super impressed by our city. The other thing overall is just how energized everybody is, and I got asked earlier today if there is now complete unity within the Democratic Party. And I, my response was so much that there's complete unity is that the Democratic Party is always going to be this diversity of voices, But what we have now is that all of those groups have realized that coming together and working together is going to get their interests and their concerns uplifted and give them a bigger voice. So we're working together. So it's not subsuming your one issue under anybody else's. And that's what I'm seeing is people are coming to me. They're uniting, they're joyful, they're re-energized to push for whatever their issue is under the umbrella of the Democratic Party. And that if we do this, my issue is going to get heard, and my priorities are going to get heard. And so that excitement is really interesting, that people see a path forward for what is important to them.
So what's important to you? What's most important to you? I'll rephrase that. What is your top issue now? You touch so much and so many issues. What right now is top on your list?
Well, listen, I'm an old soldier, so it's always going to be about the security and safety of my nation, right? But that for me is many things. It's not just tanks and guns and helicopters and passing the defense budget, which we still have to do. It's also about our economy and growing our economy to be competitive on a global scale. That is something that I'm very much focused on, which is bringing direct investment back to the U.S. and partnering with friendly nations and friendly third-party nations and doing joint manufacturing in the work. So I'm really pleased that in the United Center, I'm right next to, my location there is right next to Intersect, Illinois. So I've been doing a lot of work with Governor Pritzker and his team and John Atkinson. And last night I had corporate night in my area where I invited corporate leaders from all across the country and even internationally. And they met and talked with Intersect, Illinois, and the governor came by. And so talk about bringing direct investment to the state. And in particular, we have such an advantage with energy and energy policy because you can come to Illinois. And right now, if you want to build a factory, you can get 100% renewable energy for your factory. And that is really attracting foreign direct investment. So that's one thing. But that means we have to invest in a lot of things. We have to invest in our ag sector. We need to pass a farm bill and crop insurance and SNAP benefits and support our farmers, because a country that can't feed itself can't lead the free world, right? And we are a major ag state. And so it's all of those aspects. I sit on armed services, I sit on foreign relations committees, but I also sit on commerce committee. And
you've seen the benefit, or seen the fruits of that labor. I mean, talk about with the quantum coming, and electric vehicles. I mean, this state it's on fire.
We're buzzing. Yeah, we're buzzing. And when I go to Japan and I just came back from Vietnam. I visited Vietnam several weeks ago. And there were all of these Americans of Vietnamese descent in Vietnam, entrepreneurs working there and trying to grow an economy and what can we do to manufacture for the U.S. market and work as joint ventures.
So what do you do when you go on a trip like that? Tell us about it. You're going to attract business to Illinois from Vietnam, or are you going to see give me a little bit about that trip?
Both. So I sat down and I always meet with the American Chamber of Commerce in these countries to talk to American businesses that are there, that are trying to do business there. Like, what can we do to help you do business there? It's everything from ADM to Abbott Labs and then I would meet with universities. And so Illinois universities have partnerships over there. And then we're also trying to attract those countries. For example, in Vietnam, they're making a national plan for their green energy initiative, and they want to go to 5% ethanol blend in their gas that they put in their vehicles. And I'm trying to encourage them to use Illinois ethanol because it is a cleaner ethanol and it is carbon neutral and going to be net carbon negative here in a couple of years because of carbon capture sequestration, as opposed to ethanol that is produced in Brazil, that's produced by cutting down the virgin Amazon rainforest, growing sugarcane, and then burning that sugarcane to produce the ethanol.
We're doing it with corn.
We're doing it with corn that is grown specifically for energy. And so we're not taking, feedstock that would normally go into the food chain. But this is actually in Hennepin, Illinois. We have Marquis Energy, and they've actually sent a representative on trips with me. And the Illinois corn growers and the Farm Bureau have sent people on trips with me when I go to these foreign countries. And we were successful in Japan to get Japan to change their, I won't get into the weeds of it, but they changed the formula that they use. So now it gives priority to ethanol produced in Illinois.
See your old friend when you went over to Japan?
Oh, yeah, of course. Of course.
Former City Club Speaker, Mayor Rahm Emanuel, yes. Ambassador Rahm Emanuel.
Ambassador Rahm Emanuel. He's been really, he'll help pave the way, help me set up the meetings. And we came in with the corn growers, with the ethanol producers, and we sold them on this, and they changed, and we lobbied them, and they changed the formula that they depended upon, which gives a priority to corn that is grown in a way that doesn't create more carbon, the way cutting down rainforests would be.
So I can't. I mean, we usually are hyper local when we're at City Club, right? We talk about things that are happening on certain blocks in certain neighborhoods.
Happy to do.
But let's not do that for a second. You are. I mean, you're on the Foreign Service. You're on the Foreign Relations Committee. There's 2 wars going on. You're a veteran with more experience than anybody I've met in this realm. What is going on in the world? What's up right now? We have 2 wars. Are things going to get better? What are you seeing? What are you hearing? Maybe that you can share, or tip us on a little bit that you maybe can't share. But what are you hearing? What's next in this odd state of international affairs?
Well, we have to deal with the 2 wars, right? We certainly have to end the suffering in Gaza, and we have to have a mutual ceasefire agreement, and we're very, very close to that. A bunch of us were actually, Speaker Meeks, myself, Speaker Welch as well. Sorry, Chris Welch was there in the White House, in the Oval Office. Dick Durbin was there with the president when he declared, he used his Antiquities Act powers to declare a national monument for the Springfield race riot.
Oh, yeah.
On Friday at the site, which will be the first national monument dedicated to teaching about a lynching in the entire country, and that will be in Springfield. But we were in the Oval Office and talking with the president, and you could see that he was just so energized, and he was talking specifically about getting to a ceasefire agreement, and really, we need to get that done. And I think President Biden is going to really redouble that effort. I know our Vice President, she was on the special call with Netanyahu and President Biden today. So that absolutely is marching forward.
Top priority.
Yeah, our Secretary of State just flew into Israel, I think, recently, or into the Middle East.
So it's real time.
It's real time.
Happening in real time.
Yeah, it's real time happening. At the same time, in Ukraine, we absolutely have to support our Ukrainians, because don't forget that if Ukraine were to fall, the next nations in the line are NATO allies, which means that Article 5 of the NATO Convent Treaty would be evoked, which means that would mean U.S. boots on the ground, and we can't let that, and we don't want that to happen.
Yeah. Well, let's hope that is successful on both fronts. We could hit so many issues. We've gone local, we've gone global. You are on a daily basis doing it all. You're a mother. You have constituents to take care of. You have family. You have world issues. You have everybody's got your cell phone number. Telling you what you need to do.
I haven't done my back to school shopping list for my girls.
Oh no! Come on. Shoot, that just reminded me too.
I just reminded you too. I just got a busy week. I just got like what was your school bus requirements? That was like,
shoot.
I didn't get to that before.
Amazon. No, we support local businesses here at City Club in Chicago.
You know what was yesterday that I'm so proud of was Colores Mexicanos, which is right there on the Magnificent Mile.
Yeah,
it's gorgeous. I was there earlier, and we were driving past yesterday, and we stopped, and this is a family that had a booth at a flea market, and the Magnificent Mile Association gave them a grant, and I think like reduced rent or free rent, and they have this gorgeous building, storefront now that is just amazing.
Great.
Supported by local entrepreneurs and the support that we need to lend to entrepreneurs. We have some empty storefronts. Let's be honest on the Magnificent Mile. So let's make some investments in entrepreneurs, small businesses, especially those of disadvantaged small businesses. And if Colores Mexicanos isn't any example, they're just going to hit it out of the ballpark.
Great. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing your time. I mean, in just a few minutes, we got to cover it all, but I hope you'll come back.
I will.
And we'd love to dig a little deeper and have more conversation. You're such a great friend to City Club.
Thank you.
We're so proud to have you as our senator and really leading this nation in such an important role. Thank you for being here. We're here at the Firehouse, Chicago Firehouse Restaurant during Convention Week. This is in partnership with the U.S. Conference of Mayors and WVON Radio. So this week is City Club coming at you from the Blue Room in the Firehouse. It's such an honor to have you. Thank you again, and safe travels and all you've got coming up.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thanks, Senator Tammy Duckworth.
Thanks, everyone.
You're welcome back soon.